All right, everyone, back at the lake. First hand look down at ace jack 8-7, single suited on the button. There's an early position raised at 20. Two callers to me, I call, and both the blinds call. So we're going 6 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen 9-6 with 2 hearts. The original raiser bets 100. One caller, then it folds over to me. When you're playing multi-way pots in PLO, which is often going to be the case, you can't just think about how many outs you have. You have to think about how many of those outs make you the nuts. So in this situation, obviously having open-ended straight draw here, but really the only outs that are going to make me the nuts are the non-heart 5s. So there's 3 of those. So me not having hearts here really hurts my hand, especially being against 5 other opponents. So I decide to fold. There ended up being another caller behind. They ended up going 3 ways to a turn, which brought a 6. Action checked through to a river, which brought an ace. The original raiser bet 300 and everyone folded. So don't know what he had, but he is a tighter player, so he's going to be weighted towards aces with the ace of hearts. Here look down at ace queen 9-2 single suited in the small blind. There are 5 limpers to me. I check and the big blind also checks. So we're going 7 ways to a flop. Flop comes king 5-4 with 2 clubs, giving me the flush draw, also a gut shot to the wheel. I check over to an early position player who bets 35. 3 callers to me and I call. So we're going 5 ways to a turn. Turn brings in the front door flush with an 8 of clubs. I bet 175 and unfortunately all my opponents fold, so we take it down. Here look down at king 8-2 single suited in middle position. Folds to me, I open to 20 and there are 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes 7-3-2 with 2 spades. Checks over to the early position player who only has $15 left. He puts it all in the middle. I call and the other 2 players call, so we're still going 4 ways to a turn. Turn brings another 7. Action checks to me and I also check, so still going 4 ways to a river. River brings an 8. One of the early position players bets 50. Folds to me and I fold. He turns over his hand. He has ace queen of spades for the nut flush, and the short stack ends up showing 7-3 for the full house, so he's going to take it down. Here look down at king jack 9-8 single suited in middle position. Folds to me, I open to 20 and there are 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes king 9-6 rainbow, checks over to me, I bet 60, folds all the way to the big blind who makes the call, so we're going heads up to a turn. Turn brings another 9, my opponent checks to me and he's most likely going to have some kind of a straight draw here, so I decide to check back to hopefully induce a bluff on the river, so still heads up to a river. River brings another king, my opponent's counting out some chips and he bets 40. I make it 130 and he quickly folds, so we're going to take it down here. Here look down at king jack 9 single suited in the cutoff. There's a couple limpers to me. I make it 30 and there are 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen 9-7 rainbow. Hijack bets 150 over to me. I fold over to the button who makes the call and one of the blinds calls all in for less, so they're going 3 ways to a turn. Turn brought a 4, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. Hijack bet 400 and the button made the call. They ended up going heads up to a river, which brought a jack of diamonds. Hijack ended up pushing all in and the button made the call. Hijack turned over queen 7-3, so he flopped top set, and the button turns over 10-10 8-6, so he flopped the wrap and rivered the straight, so he's going to take it down. Here look down at king queen jack single suited under the gun. I limp. There are 3 other limpers. Big blind and small blind both complete. Straddler checks, and we're going 7 ways to a flop. I know there's going to be some people that disagree with my play there to limp with that hand as opposed to raise, but due to the straddle, if I open to 40 and then there's a couple callers, really later position player can make a massive raise. So, king queen jack is definitely good enough to, where you want to call and see a flop, but, I really don't want to call like a massive 3-bet out of position. So that's why I chose to just limp as opposed to raise. Flop comes queen jack 8 with 2 hearts. I decided to bet 25 as a feeler bet and we get 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to a turn. Turn brings a 6, which shouldn't really change anything. If I was beat on the flop, I believe I would have got raised, so I bet 65 and there's 1 caller, so we're going heads up to a river. River brings another jack. I bet 175 and unfortunately my opponent folds, so we take it down. Here look down at jack 10-9-9 double suited in the small blind in a straddled pot. Early position player makes it 25. 2 callers to me, I call. Big blind calls over to the straddler who makes it 110. 1 caller to me, I call, and the big blind calls. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Out comes 10-8-2 with 2 diamonds, so we flop the open-ended straight flush draw. I check, big blind checks over to the original raiser who bets 400. Folds to me, and here with this SPR and this good of a flop, don't really think I could do anything here besides push, so that's what I do. Over to the big blind who tanks for a while, probably about 2 minutes, and he eventually folds over to the original raiser, who eventually makes the call. So we're going heads up to a run out. Turn brings a 3 of spades, so no help to me. River brings in a 2. It's the 2 of diamonds, so we get our flush. Does pair the board though. I turn over my hand and my opponent turns over his. You won't see it on the video, but he has ace, ace, king 4 with the naked ace of diamonds. So we're gonna take down a pretty good sized pot here. After the hand was over, the big blind said he would have ended up winning the hand with a queen high flush. He told me that I was the only player that would have got him to fold the hand that he folded. So he said he had queen jack 9 with a 4th random card that was a diamond. So he had the nut wrap and, queen high flush draw, but he said that he put me on either the nut flush draw or a set. So, lucky that got him to fold with my tight image. Here, look down at ace jack 8-5, double suited in the big blind. There's an early position limp. Next player makes it 25. 1 caller to me, I call, and the limper calls. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes jack 9-5 rainbow. I bet 45 and there are 2 callers, so we're going 3 ways to a turn. Turn brings a pretty bad card in the king. I check and both my opponents check back as well, so still going 3 ways to a river. River brings a 5. I bet 90. One of my opponents folds, but the other one makes the call. So I turn over my hand and we're good. So taking down a pretty decent sized pot here. Here, look down at ace, ace, 10-4, single suited in the cutoff. There are a couple early position limpers. I make it 30, folds back to the hijack, who makes the call. So we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes king, queen 3 rainbow. My opponent checks to me. I bet 35 and he makes the call. So we're going heads up to a turn. Turn brings the worst card in the deck in a 9. My opponent checks to me and I decide to check back as well. So still going heads up to a river. River brings an ace. My opponent checks again, and here it's pretty unlikely that he's going to check back jack 10 twice. So I bet 50, and unfortunately my opponent folds, so we take it down. I play a little while longer after the ace, ace, 10-4 hand. Game took a turn for the worse with seat 5 coming into the game, so I decided to rack up. What's up, guys? Wayne back here with you. So today I was in for 600, out for 2100, so profit of 1500. If you haven't already done so, check out my previous video. I'll link it up here, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.